Hey, this is Race Recap with Morgan and
Gage.
So what we're doing with this series is we're going to recap some of the races Gage has had. So Gage is 10 years old, he rides a YZ65, and we're just kind of starting to get into racing. He rode 50s over the last couple years, now we've moved up to 65s. 65s are a complete new animal, so we're kind of learning back from square one. And so here a couple weeks ago, we had our first fair race of the season at Wayne County Fairgrounds in Fairfield, Illinois. And so I run a GoPro on Gage's helmet, either a GoPro or a DJ Osmo, and this one's actually a GoPro footage. And so we're just gonna go through the race, go through practice, the heat race, and the main event, and just kind of see what Gage was feeling during that race, kind of give him some perspective on me. I've used to race quite a bit, never really that good, but I was once where Gage was too, just kind of learning. So we're kind of gonna go through that footage and kind of learn together. And I really kind of want to see what Gage was thinking in some of these races too, to kind of get his perspective. And this is an opportunity for us to learn, both for Gage, kind of get his dad's opinion, but also, just to, again, recap these memories, to kind of relive them in, several years when hopefully he gets better and stronger and faster, and we can see, like, look how far we've come during this time. So let's go ahead and jump to the practice footage. So this is the first practice of the night, and as you'll see, this race was kind of a little bit nerve-wracking because as we're driving down to Fairfield, it's starting to look cloudy. The clouds are coming in, the rain's starting to sprinkle on it just a little bit as we get there. And you'll actually see through this footage, you actually see it sprinkling at times. I think even at the end of this practice, a raindrop gets on the lens of the GoPro, so you can see it was kind of getting a little bit wet. So I was quite nervous through the night that I was hoping it wasn't gonna just downpour, because Gage doesn't have much experience in wet, slick dirt like this. And so we're all kind of a little bit nervous about how the weather was going to play. So let's go ahead and get this started. So on this one, Gage was mixed in with 65s and 85s. And so he was kind of the second practice out. And so he was a little bit nervous, I think, because this is his first race with this bigger bike. So he was kind of taking it easy, trying to learn the track. So I guess, Gage, what was your first thoughts of the track, the layout, the jump sizes, things like that?
Well, for the first lap, I was really just testing it out, seeing how it works. And yeah, I was just figuring it out. And then I got faster and faster every lap to get more used to it.
It's definitely good to kind of go slow into practice. We've not done a ton of riding this year. We've been doing, baseball and swim and, a whole bunch of different things through the summer. So riding's not been at the absolute top of our priority. So this is good just to kind of get out there, feeling that clutch and everything too. So as you go around this corner here, you can see a raindrop go through the screen there. So it was definitely raining. I mean, it wasn't pouring by any means, but it was definitely raining. So like here in these corners, these dry corners, definitely can get slick when that moisture comes up through the dirt at night or in the rain, like today was.
Yep.
So they're trying to get practice done pretty quick because the rain was coming, and so I think you only had probably about 3 laps of practice. You saw the white flag lap come out there, but one thing I want you to notice is how high you're revving that bike. You're probably in first gear, maybe second. Probably really need to be upshifting into the next gear. But again, it's practice. It's your first day. It's your first time out on this track. You're still kind of learning the corners, learning the size of the jumps, things like that. Especially right here. Listen. You can hear you rev it up, let off, rev it up, let off. If you're revving it back on like that, it's probably time just to change a gear up. But again, it's practice. I get it. Nerves getting in the way, just getting the feeling for things. So this should be the checkered flag for practice, and you're starting to see that lens on that top right kind of get a little blurry.
And in the middle too.
Yeah. So it was definitely starting to come down. All right. So that was practice. What was your overall thought of the track? I mean, we've gone to this track probably 4 years in a row, maybe.
Yeah.
The layout's pretty well the same, so I guess what are your thoughts and feelings on the layout of the track?
I thought the straightaway was a pretty long straightaway from the gate. And and,
Yeah, that straightaway was super long because as you can see here, now we've got the heat race pulled up. You had several, probably 40 yards straightaway to a little kind of like S-turn, and then probably double that length to actually the first real turn. So it was a long way. So something a little bit alarming happens at the start of the heat race. Do you remember? Okay, let's watch. Let's get it rolling. So as you can see, the card guy's out front. He's pointing to everybody down the line, saying, "Hey, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?" Going down the line. And we picked the very inside to the left gate, right?
Yes.
You can see the doghouse where the starter is going to drop the gate to our left. So there is no one to our left. Why did we pick that gate? Do you remember?
So we wouldn't because all the way to the right, there's like a turn. There's a berm right there, and we don't want to get like pinched to there. But also there's more of a straight line for the straightaway from all the way over to the left.
Yeah, so when we were looking at it, our opinion was if we can get through that first corner as straight as possible without having to really go left and right through that S-turn, that was going to give us a quicker route to that first corner. Now, we probably didn't take Ricky Carmichael's advice where it's condition over position, because I think if you look down at the gate, it was very marbly at our gate. I don't think a lot of people had used it. And so once you did go, you spun out a ton and didn't go anywhere. But anyway, let's go ahead and roll this and see what happens on our start. So the gate guy is going through everybody. Right there, what happened?
I forgot to pull in the clutch. It said shift down to first.
So you just stepped on it and then what? It stalled, right?
It stalled.
And
so I was panicking and tried to start it again and stuff.
Yeah, so he stalls it and he instantly, I think, starts, shaking it. We'll see him shake his head here in a second. And I was standing right behind him. So I realized what you had done. And so I'm waving my arms really big to the 30-second card guy, 30-second card guy out there on the track, just yelling, waving my arms at him, trying to get him to stop, drop the gate. And he does recognize that we had issues, and we were the very last person for him to check on too. Yeah. So all the other kids are down in that position, going, revving it and getting ready to go. And he waves everybody off, and so I try to keep him calm, get him into neutral, just trying to say, hey, stay calm, it's fine, we got time. Okay, start it. So what was I trying to tell you all night at this race? We're not out here to win, right? We're here to get through our first race, stay up, get off that start, and keep it not stall it right there, right? So overall, you had a really good jump. That kid took off. There's 1, 2, you're third place at this point.
Yep.
That kid that took off, I think his name was Lucas, I think. He was super quick. He was really good. He's going to do well tonight. So you take the inside there over the first singles. You get passed by another kid, so now you're in fourth.
Yes. Later in the video, this corner gets really slippery.
Yeah. Because again, the later the night goes, that moisture kind of gets pulled up from the dirt. Those flat, slick, shiny corners get awfully slick. So.
Yep.
So right now, the first 3 kids, they were kind of a cut above the rest of the field. Gage was kind of right in there, that middle spot. I think there was 6 or 8. I think 6 total kids in this class. So you had those first 3 that were a little bit faster than everybody, and the second 3 were pretty close in speed. So now you get past in that corner. So now you are moved from 4th to 5th. So I really love this corner. He goes out way wide to the berm. What do? You dive inside, push out, get a nice block pass on him, right?
Yep.
And I can tell you're really getting on the gas hard there. So you go that corner a little bit wider than usual.
Yep, you gotta use the brakes there. You go over the berm.
Yeah. We got that long sweeping corner on the outside, farthest side of the track.
Yep.
To a pretty good sized little tabletop.
And whenever I'm racing, I always get the first jump mixed up as like the really peaked one or the really non-peaked one. So
that's hard.
Yeah, I kept getting it mixed up.
So right now the weather has actually turned out pretty nice. a lot cooler because it was like 90, 95, 100 degree
Yes,
days
it was hot.
around this time frame, and with all the clouds, there was no sun, and so it was actually a little bit cooler than usual, which was pretty helpful just to make it more enjoyable night too. So we not quite figured out our jumps yet.
Yep.
And so at this point you are starting to get a little air on some stuff. So that's just something that with the new bike, because you're on your KTM E5, you were getting pretty comfortable where you're clearing tabletops and launching off singles pretty well. But again,
And I was used to that bike a lot.
exactly, it fits you. This one's a little bit big for you.
Yeah.
Or actually it's probably about perfect size, but like
Not
that,
used to it yet.
exactly. That kind of means tiptoes
Yep.
though, right? It's not like flat feet on the ground when you're on top of the bike.
Yep. I usually get a little bit of air on that really peaked one after the non-peaked.
All right, let's really listen to the engine noise on this straightaway here. Yeah, you definitely should have been grabbing another
Yeah.
gear on that one.
Yep.
I think we got the white flag on that last time
Yeah,
by,
we
right?
did.
So this will be the last lap.
Got a little air there.
Yeah. So at this point in the race, are you feeling like, are your arms tight? Are you feeling winded, tired, or nothing? Anything? Okay, here we got that long straightaway again. Let's listen. You got it wrapped out, don't you?
Yep. I should be jumping.
Takes time.
Next Yamaha coming around. This is race number 42, Blue Duck of West Side. And the 138 Fairfield run. Webb on the Kawasaki.
We just finished our first moto. I guess we got 4th out of 6. I guess what's going through your head? Are you happy with 4th out of 6? Are you upset? How are you feeling?
I just feel like I'm ready for the main event. I'm ready to get pumped up for that. So I wasn't like mad, but I wasn't really happy about it.
Yeah, because again, our goals was not stalling it off the start
And finish the
finishing the
race.
race, right?
Yep.
Perfect. All right, so there goes our heat race. So let's pull up our main event.
This was the one I was most nervous for because I knew if I got third, I would get like a trophy or something, a plaque that we usually get. And I really wanted that, and I was like, it'd be awesome to get that if for my new bike, that my first race on my new bike.
Yeah, that'd be a big accomplishment because clearly the first 3 kids were kind of above our level, at least today, right? So yeah, to get third and get a trophy or something, that'd be a pretty big accomplishment. So,
Yep.
all right, so now we got our main event pulled up. Obviously it's dark now, so the lights have come on. It's night. And unfortunately, it starts to rain now.
Yep.
Like it was basically good all night. They actually ended up watering some of the track because it was so
Yeah.
dry because they were afraid it was going to get super wet. And so they left it very dry, very sealed, but it didn't end up raining. And so they finally kind of dissed it a little bit and put some water down. So we got a lot more traction at the gate,
Yep.
which you'll see here in a second, right? So I think they've actually lost a track worker at this point. So the guy dropping the
Yeah.
gate is the same guy lining everybody up and with the
Yep.
card and everything. So let's get started. Goes down the line, everybody's good. We changed our gate position as well.
And there,
So what happened there?
I gave it a lot of gas, and we had way better traction than in the heat race. So whenever I dropped the clutch, like I popped a wheelie.
That's like basically your first wheelie ever, right?
Second.
That was the biggest wheelie by
Well,
any-
yeah, biggest wheelie.
So
But both of my wheelies were on accident.
yeah. So we start in first gear because during practicing out at our property,
Yep.
it seems like we couldn't really, once we started in second, like when I used to race, I started in second gear. And I was able to, I guess, keep it revved up higher or whatever, get that spin and get going in second.
Yeah.
But when we tried under 65, it seems to bog out,
Yeah.
almost stall or die
Yep.
in that second gear. So we decided we'd just start in first, and probably with all the track prep, the tacky dirt, the wet dirt, we ended up hooking up, right?
Yeah.
Probably felt like you send that thing to the moon, like straight up and down, right?
It did.
But we'll probably cut in another clip of Grandma. She was with us.
Yep.
So we'll cut in her angle and see how that looks from her view. I think she was over here to the left side. That might be her right there, actually.
Yep.
How would that make you feel? Like that probably just jacked your heart rate out
Yeah.
of the gate, right?
Well, speaking of doing that, before the race, I was really tired. And I'm like, that woke me up.
Yeah, because it was like 10 o'clock at this point,
It
right?
was, yeah.
Yeah, it was like 10 p.m. because the races didn't start till 7:30, 7:15, 7:30.
Because of the rain delay.
And so yeah, it was getting kind of late, in which we're in bed 8:39 usually.
Yeah.
So you just pop your wheelie.
Yep.
That probably freaked you out. Set it back down, and we're back racing, right?
Yep.
So there goes the guy that got first last time. I think the kid in second right now finished behind you last race, I think.
He did.
I think that was the kid that passed you right here, and you passed him right back, I think.
It
was a
was.
Kawasaki.
And as you saw, he slipped right there because it's so wet in the corners. And like this, earlier, I said this corner, see all that
Yeah, look how shiny
tracked
it is.
in? Yeah. I talked about it earlier in the video, and I told you you'd see it.
Yeah, that kid got second. They just passed you now. So you went from third to second again. Or sorry, third to fourth again.
Yep.
So it's kind of looking like a repeat of our heat race. Starting to get, I can tell you're starting to get more comfortable because you can tell you're getting a little bit of air on these singles and stuff.
Standing up a lot more too.
Yes, and that's a big thing. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a big thing I'm wanting to try to work on you with is standing up in those straightaways like right here. Shaft.
But this corner wasn't the worst, but the others.
So we're still
And
running
right there, I
fourth.
give it lots of gas. And
Yeah,
it's
you're
so
accelerating pretty good. But again, it's kind of a balancing act of too much acceleration in the corners and not enough. Because if not enough, you're going to get slow and they're going to leave you.
Too
but
much, you're gonna
end up
slip.
on the ground, right? You can start seeing the rain forming on the lens again because it's starting to come down a little bit harder. You see the I was on the blue shirt outside the track telling you to shift, shift, shift.
In this corner, oh, never mind.
Pretty dark in that corner.
Yeah, because that's kind of close to the start.
Uh-oh.
And this is where the kid crashes and I get past him.
Probably should have taken the inside lane
I
there.
know, but I didn't see him until like
Yep.
the corner.
So what you need to be
Look
doing
up.
there is look up farther, head down the track for sure. Just last weekend, Chase Sexton was getting some criticism by James Stewart for not looking up. He seemed to kind of
Yes.
come upon down riders a lot, but Chase said that wasn't the case. So there was
I
some
got a lot
good
of
air.
air.
Yeah, there was some good air. But again, I think if you just shift that bike, but you'd be going a lot faster.
It's not easy for a beginner.
Hey, you did absolutely amazing for a beginner. For being your first race on the 65, you're doing awesome. You see how wet the lens is. Oh, you can tell a little bit of. Oh, is that the checker? Is that Is that a little celebration, Revan?
Yep.
You could hear the "Let's go" like that. You are a very emotional athlete, right? You
Very.
when like in baseball, you strike out, it gets to you, right?
Yep.
You hit a triple, it gets to you, right?
Yep.
So you're a very emotional, both high and low athlete. So it really, excites me as a dad to see you excited like that when you do really well, perform well, to get super excited for yourself. I can tell you're very proud of yourself. This is the trip back to the car. I wanted to make sure I.
Great job! Give me some love, buddy.
So, ended up third out of 6.
Yep.
So we brought home our plaque, the Wayne County Trophy third place plaque, right?
I get it.
So how'd that make you feel to perform when it counted? Because in the heat race, it doesn't super matter, right? So I guess what kind of thoughts and feelings did you have when you finally finished that checkered flag?
I was very, very happy.
I couldn't tell.
No, really.
So overall, what you thought? Overall?
It was fun.
Fun?
Yes.
Glad you went?
Yes.
I was a little nervous on the way there because you started getting the sprinkles on the windshield, and
Yeah.
no one wants to race in the mud if we don't have to. So
Yeah.
that
It's not
wasn't-
mud bogs.
Yeah, exactly. So, but hey, overall, that's Wayne County's fair race from 2024.
Yep.
Great experience. They usually put on a really nice track, really nice facility. It's usually the first one of the year, kind of the local fair race season here. So it's always good to get that one knocked out and out of the way. And like I said, it's usually a pretty fun track too. So, yeah. Any final thoughts or feelings on that?
Nope.
Gotcha. Well, hey, good job, dude. Proud of you, like always. Our next race we have is actually in about a week from now. It's at the Richland County Fair. We plan on being there as well. The weather looks kind of iffy all week. It's kind of in that 40 to 50% chance of rain all night or all week. So hopefully the temperatures are relatively cool, mid 80s, so that should be good. Our buddy Kyle Porter is building the track. He built the track last year and did a super job on it.
Yeah.
Like pretty much straight supercross track, like very high quality, very big change from previous years at the fair here. So I believe he's making that one again. So excited to see what he's got there. He's been teasing on Facebook a little bit about some pretty neat things are coming at this year's fair. So
Yep.
I'm super excited to see that and see how it turns out. So I guess we'll just be back after Onley's fair, hopefully with a good report. And again, what are our goals going to be for Onley's fair track?
Finish the race.
So we got finish the race.
Don't stall it.
Don't stall it. Now, those are ones I was giving you. Do you have any goals on that one? Or just you like those two?
I like those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, not stalling it, finishing the race. So, I think we can do that. So,
Yep.
all right, sounds good. Well, that's been race recap with Morgan, and
Gage.
so I guess we'll just catch you after the next race.